What's up, Big Steve?
Shout out Michael Bisping. Shout out Brady, first time guest, UFC 322. We bet on UFC here. We bet on MMA. After this show, in about 6 hours, I'll upload a KSW podcast and non-live, so look forward to that. But thanks for coming on the show, Brady, first time guest. I had your boy Weezy on with Lou Betcher on like a special elderly edition where the combined age of the panel was like 200 years old. But it's been a while. I thought it was time to bring you on. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm really looking forward to this card, stacked card from top to bottom. It did take a hit. We did lose, Cody Haddon, Malcolm Wellmaker, but at the very least, we get Wellmaker still on the card. But I mean, this card's phenomenal. I think everybody can agree it's one of the best cards of the year. A lot of spots sticking out. Can't wait to break it down.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot, but honestly, I just keep looking at Valentina, Weili, Zhang, and it's like, yeah, I get it. It's a super fight, but man, Valentina's fights are so boring. So, and then I look at Sean Brady, and I'm like, ugh. And then I look at Islam Makachev. I'm like, if these guys are winning, this shit's gonna stink up the place. But oh well, at least name value is up there. You get excited about all the names and stuff.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This guy just doxed my real name on live air. We're gonna have to find him and do nothing to him. Alrighty. Let's get into it, man. Shall we? Shall we not waste any more time?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Let's get some money in this hoe. Vyacheslav Aborshchev versus Mateusz Camilo. For me, man, this fight is just weird. There's an air of weirdness about it. Like, should Camilo be this much of a favorite? Like, he had one UFC fight, got fraud checked by Gabe Green of all people. And I get it, Aborshchev is like on a bit of a stink up. He could be potentially getting cut from the UFC at 8-7. But, he's proven to be way tougher. He's proven, that if you beat him down, you take him down, he'll still be there rounds 2 and 3, and he has power and he has heart. Whereas Camilo doesn't, He's got the goods. He looks the goods on tape. But then if you extend him, if you put him in deep subs, which obviously Slava won't, he'll quit. Haven't really seen anyone hurt him. Actually, I just quickly taped the Gabe Green fight, and Gabe Green hit him with a check hook as he was coming in for a takedown. It looked like he kind of dropped him. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't really feel confidence playing Camilo. I thought about the under 2.5 rounds, but it's very chalky. It feels like accurate. And you just look at Slava's fights, it's just a bunch of decisions where he shows a ton of heart and he doesn't get finished. And Camilo's extremely low volume. Like, he might drop him, but then what? Like, is he going to submit Aborshchev? Is his submissions on the level of Hooper and McKinney? Hooper had to set world records of ground and pound on Slava before he finally submitted him. And Slava didn't even tap. He was complaining about an early stoppage because he didn't tap to the actual submission. So, yeah, weird fight, man. Weird fight. I might just sit back and watch this one. I feel like Camilo's going to mix in takedowns. So he will be winning minutes even if he's getting hurt. But it just depends on how washed Slava is, how much he's pushing the pace. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it is a weird fight. It's like, first of all, I don't want to bet on either one of these guys. Camilo, this guy straight up quit in his debut. He showed that he displayed horrible cardio, got tapped out after he failed on a submission attempt against Gabe Green. That's a really bad look. On the flip side, you got Slava Aborshchev, who's a liar. I mean, this guy says he's 33 years old. He's lying. He's at least 40 years old. He looks old. He's getting hurt by guys like Chase Hooper on the feed. It's like, I think the durability is starting to go for Aborshchev. But like you mentioned, he's one of these guys that, I mean, he can get hurt, he can get dropped, but he has no quit in him. So I'm with you in terms of, I had my finger, hovered around the trigger of the under 1.5 all week, around like -145, -150. It's taken some steam. I think at this point I'm gonna stay away because I could see it being like a very frustrating under where Camilo drops Aborshchev and maybe Camilo does wrestle and grapple and maybe isn't able to submit him. Maybe this does go 15 minutes. So yeah, not the under is not enticing enough, especially now at -165. And I'm not putting my money on either one of these fools. So yeah, I'm gonna pass, sit back and watch it and see what happens. But both guys are probably going to be a fade in the future, I'd say. But yeah, I'm leaning Camilo just because Aborshchev looks old and his chin looks like toast. But you can't be confident in laying minus money on a quitter. So I don't know.
Did you say 1.5 rounds?
2.5 is -165 now. I don't love it.
I thought I might have heard you say 1.5 instead.
Nah.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, we agree. Let's move on. Sasuke versus Eric Mechanico. We don't know what they're doing here. The UFC. This is one fight we can probably save some time. I basically like just all different variations of Sasuke inside the distance. I was looking at that under 1.5 early in the week. I had it on a book before the Bet Online even released it, and it was better than minus 200. And I was just like, I give Eric Mechanico zero, absolutely zero finishing upside. So sometimes I like to get a better number, maybe round 1, round 2, but I should have known the round 1. And it would have been so shit that it's basically pretty close to the under 1.5 rounds in terms of price. So it's bounced back a little bit. It's pretty close to minus 200 on Bet Online, the under 1.5. I basically think even if this fight gets into round 2, like the Norsata and Ruziboya fight did, I think Suzukaev is just going to get him out of there in early part of round 2, because the fights that did go into round 2, he usually gets the guys out of there early. And that's when he's messing around. Like he said that he's really unsatisfied with his debut. A bit hard on himself. The guy, 3-day turnaround from another professional fight, a Contender Series, double weight cuts. And I think Nolan, in my humble opinion, Nolan is a better fighter than Eric Mechanico. I can say that. CFFC champion, crazy power. He's knocked out a bunch of guys. So the fact that he hurt Susukaev, it's no shame in that. And just recovered and submitted him instantly. So I think it's probably going to be a KO, KO1. Should be said that it's full camp. So not 3 days for Contender Series, not 3 days for UFC debut. Full camp. They're giving him a chinny bum. And he's not going to sniff a takedown. Eric likes to grapple sometimes. He won't sniff a takedown. So I think it's a Susukaev. If he wants to make an impression, he can. So maybe play the under 1.5. Some Susukaev 1 and 2 is pretty close to the under 1.5 price. It's still ugly, but man, when things are a lock, it feels like a lock. I might just have to unload the bankroll on this. What about you?
Yeah, we're seeing it eye to eye. I mean, Eric Mechanico is one of the worst to do it. I mean, this guy, he stinks. I thought he lost his last fight against Cody Brundage, and he had to have set some sort of record. Like, this guy won a fight landing only 25 strikes over the course of 15 minutes. Like, how does it even happen? I thought Brundage won the fight, and the thing with Mechanico is he just does nothing. Like, he does absolutely nothing in there. It's really hard to watch. And on top of that, he gets hit. I kind of think a reason why he does nothing is because he's scared to get hit. He's scared to get countered. And I mean, just the way this guy's reacting to shots, like even against Cody Brundage, like just how he's reacting to these punches getting landed. And I mean, Sasarkayev's going to hit him. Sasarkayev's going to hit him hard. Sasarkayev's going to kick him very hard, and he's not going to like it. This Mechanico guy has been knocked out in all 3 of his losses. And I didn't hear that, but I like to hear that he wasn't impressed with his debut. Because, yeah, this guy does mess around a little bit. It's like, stop messing around, dude. Especially here against Mechanico. No need to mess around. Just pressure and get this bum out of there within the first half of the round. I mean, I think, Sasarkayev, if he doesn't finish Mechanico in the first 7.5 minutes, quite frankly, he should be ashamed of himself. So, yeah, I saw the under at like one point, it was like minus 160. Like, that was like a Max Worthy type number. I didn't understand the minus 160. It got completely obliterated. Like I said, it has came back a little bit, but yeah, Sasarkayev in the first 7.5 minutes. What is the best number on the round 1, round 2? Because that's something also I can get down with. Sasarkayev, get 10 minutes.
It's on my Aussie bookie. Shout out Neds. They actually paid me for my Della, unlike other dodgy books, Pinnacle. It's $1.40, which is minus 2 something. And it's $1.40 for the under 1.5 in some places, so that's a decent line.
Yeah, because Mechanico's finishing nobody ever.
Yeah, it's just like it's a little bit safer because you get 2.5 minutes, but you don't get the accidental Mechanico KO. But I mean, come on, like
yeah,
it's going to be some sort of weird injury for that KO to actually happen. Like he was swinging and he couldn't even hurt Brundage, and I remember he kind of hurt Maki Pitolo, but Maki Pitolo is also known for a really bad chin and. Yeah, this guy, even when he tries, he can't really bust the grape. So, yeah, I think it's just going to be. If a lot of people are shitting on old mate. They're like, "Oh, he's not as good as everyone is saying." I'm like, man, this guy's a kid, and he's taking the piss, and he's in the Premier organization, and he's still winning. Like a lot of these guys come in and they can't handle the bright lights on the debut. This guy's just messing around. He's like acting like he's sparring against professional fighters, and he's still winning while barely trying. He gives me a bit of Comes Up vibes. I know they train together, so what's he going to be like when he actually tries, and he has a full camp, which is tomorrow, 2 days. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope he tries. I hope he makes it look easy. I hope he makes a statement. I mean, you shouldn't be letting this guy Mechanico, get to the second round pretty much. I think this guy smokes him, or at least he should.
If he does, that's like if he wasn't happy with his Nolan fight, then letting Mechanico go into round 2, that would be like something that he should lose sleep over, like cry himself to sleep.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We said we're going to save some time on that fight, but we did not at all. Let me go through these comments because, my 10 fans deserve a shout out. Strale from Serbia, what up? Shady, shout out, no sleep, Steve. Man, I did the double shift so the wife could sleep last night. Rough. Rough. Hopefully she returns the favor tonight. Otherwise, early divorce papers. Lou Betcha, is this really happening? Yes, it is. I did it for Lou to bring him out of the cave. My 2 favorite friends and people making love to this card. Well, making love is a strong accusation. My sons, and they're just talking amongst themselves. I'll watch later going back to the bar. I will blind bet everything. Can't believe it. Lou just sits around, does nothing, and he still has no time to watch this live. It's amazing.
He's busy.
He's busy doing nothing. All right. Let's go. Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. We're saving time on this fight. I'll let you go first, Brady, because in private you told me this was your lotion fight, so I'll let you break it down.
Oh, no, it's not my lotion fight. I mean, if there was a lotion fight on this card, it's got to be the Blanchfield Cortez fight. So I'll save the lotion for the Blanchfield Cortez fight. And yeah, nothing here for me. Pretty straightforward. Klein should win. Angie's 40 years old. I don't know how Klein wins. I lean decision. The decision prop's nasty. Yeah, staying away. But yeah, Klein's good. I think Klein wins. I'd be kind of surprised if she didn't.
Yep. I agree. Basically, from a betting perspective, I think it's do you chase the finish props for Klein? Right. I did it last time with Melissa Martinez. I wasn't going to. I forced the last minute, and I just hated myself for forcing that shit until the head kick landed. Because I even said to myself, no, I said on the show, why would you play the under 2.5 rounds when Fatima has 3 fights that have finished in the last 2.5 minutes? And then as it went over the 2.5 minute mark in round 3, she got, because I said I was just going to put $100 in round 3, and I put like a half a unit on the 2.5 on like inside the distance, and I was just like, this is going to lose. I would have rather just lost like $100 in round 3, and then it hit, and I was like, hell yeah. And a couple of my friends had the under 2.5 rounds. I was like, well, you should have listened to the Big Brain MMA pod.
Exactly.
All right, Chepa Mariscal, Pat Sabatini rematch. Played out Pick'em the first time, lined this Pick'em the second time. I know sharps on both sides, which, typically the type of fight that I don't bet, because rarely do I really have a strong enough lean. My betting style is if I'm split, if it's Pick'em, if I got sharp friends on both sides seeing different things, then that means I'm generally going to see different things as well, and I won't really have a good lean. Basically, I was about to lock in Chepe early in a week, chatted to some people, sharp people, lucrative and whatnot. And he's like, I like Pat. And I'm like, okay, just the fact that he likes Pat means there might be some action on him. And now he's gone to favorite. And I waited, and I thought Chepe, more aggressive, durability edge, and he throws a lot of ground and pound in transition. A lot of people thought he got robbed, or he robbed Morgan Charrier, but he stole that fight by whenever he was taken down, whenever he got on top for a split second, he threw a bunch of ground and pound, round ended. The judges were like, oh, well, he landed all the damage, right? So if he does that to Pat, that chin, the reaction might look even worse. So he's just a junkyard dog, man. You can't hold this guy down. Sure, Pat can take him down. Like he took him down in the first fight many times, but so did Chepe. Chepe was throwing him around with some crazy judo throws. So people are saying Pat's control improved. I mean, maybe he looked improved versus freaking, Lucas Almeida and Joanderson Brito, who is like one guy that got held down by Jonathan Pearce for like 3 minutes in round 2. Everyone else, Jonathan Pearce has to keep Matt returning you because he can't hold anyone down. But Brito was just chilling on his back for ages. So, yeah, it looks good against people that do get held down traditionally. But, yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be back and forth and could potentially play out like Pick'em again. Gun to my head, I'll play Chepe, but I haven't played it just because I need to do a bit more tape. I just watched the Charrier fight. I watched the Damon Jackson a week ago. I'm going to do the Ricardo Ramos, but really it just feels like if Sabatini's smart, which he is the smarter fighter, he can just fight a really extreme weasel-like game plan where he just hits takedowns and the rounds and, it forces the judges in to make a smart decision, which you don't want to be on any side of a fight when you're relying on a judge's decision to be accurate. So what do you think, my friend?
Yeah, I lean Chepe here, especially at plus money. It's like for Sabatini to win this fight, in my opinion, and there is a path for Sabatini for sure. I mean, taking him down and controlling him. It's just I feel like Sabatini is gonna have to fight the perfect fight, right? Like in the Brito fight, he fought the perfect fight. You know that you can't stand with Brito, and I mean Brito has a ton of power, and he went out there and he controlled Joe Anderson Brito for almost 14 minutes of a 15-minute fight. But I'm just not convinced he's going to be able to do that to Meerschaert. Like Meerschaert's not just going to lay on his ass for 15 minutes and accept that, right? He's going to, try to scramble up. He's going to try to make things happen. He's going to actually make Sabatini work, unlike Brito did in that last fight. Brito just kind of was content to lay on his back, didn't really try to get back up, all that much. So I think Meerschaert's going to, produce some scrambles here. I think Meerschaert is going to get back up here and there. I just don't think he's going to get controlled for 12, 13, 14 minutes of this fight. And if he's not getting controlled for 12, 13, 14 minutes of this fight, yeah, I mean, all you need on the feet against Sabatini is a couple minutes to touch that chin. We saw Damon Jackson touch the chin in 60 seconds. Why can't Chepe, who, don't get me wrong, he's not a murderous power puncher. I mean, why can't Chepe touch the chin of Sabatini here? So, yeah, I lean Meerschaert. I think Meerschaert by knockout plus 460 is kind of a stupid number. Just because Sabatini, we've seen him hurt so many times. Jamal Emmers dropped him. We saw obviously Lopez get him out of there, and then Jackson got him out of there. I think Meerschaert is pretty live for a KO here. But even like the Sabatini by sub, though, did catch my eye. It's plus 750, which I also think is kind of crazy because Meerschaert will make some mistakes in the grappling. He will give up his back to stand up. So I could see a couple different ways this fight goes, but if I had to pick a side, it's Chepe. And that Chepe knockout is pretty enticing at plus 460.
Yeah, he would be the first guy to do it if he was to sub him.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's never in any danger, like Morgan Sharia tried the guillotines, it's just not even close. Like he's a double black belt, I'm pretty sure. Black belt in judo and black belt in jiu-jitsu. And that was like for more than 5 years while he was on the regionals. The commentators were already talking about his 2 black belts. This guy's, I don't know, Pat Sabatini doesn't really have that many submissions, for a guy that's such a good, a lot of decisions early in his UFC career as well. But yeah, I agree. All right, let's go on to the next one. GM3, Carl Daukaus. Interesting fight, right? In my opinion, Carl Daukaus is just the type of guy that Gerald Meerschaert can beat, even on a 3-fight losing streak. But I'll let you take this one away, my friend. What do you like from a betting perspective?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, kind of surprised, kind of not. But Daukaus was minus 300 just a couple days ago, and now he's minus 500. The fact that Kyle Daukaus is a favorite, this big of a favorite in the UFC is kind of crazy to me. But at the same time, Meerschaert just looks done. Meerschaert looks toast. I mean, these last couple of fights, he's looked awful. He's looking old, and rightfully so. This guy has 57 fights. He's taken a lot of damage. The durability's always been in question, but especially now. Really worried about the durability of Meerschaert. Just really worried about how he's looking in there these days. And it's not like Kyle Daukaus is some big power puncher, but I really don't think you need to be to go out there and hurt Meerschaert. I know Kyle Daukaus is predicting a knockout win, and maybe I'm not entirely sure, but I think Daukaus could potentially submit Meerschaert as well. Meerschaert's been submitted 9 times. I just kind of feel like Daukaus is getting Meerschaert at the right time. Like if this fight was a couple of years ago, and you're getting Meerschaert at plus 400. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but my concern is, Gerald Meerschaert isn't just washed. He's like double washed. I mean, this guy, he just looks really, really bad. So, yeah, I got to go Daukaus. I got to go Daukaus to get the win. And I think the under 1.5 is very interesting. I think the fight won't start round 3 is very interesting. Kind of gives Daukaus 10 minutes to finish an old washed man, and maybe Meerschaert pulls something out of his hat like he typically does. So I kind of like the fight won't start round 3, even the under 2.5 alternate. I think somebody probably gets served here. I think that somebody's probably Meerschaert, but you can't lay minus 500 on Kyle Daukaus against anybody, like never. But I think he probably does look minus 500 when it's all said and done, when he gets that early finish.
Yeah, anyone laying money line on Daukaus is that's like the squarest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, you just have to go, 3 fights back to the Sean Fallon fight, who's like a striker with jiu-jitsu, and he had 10 minutes of top time versus Daukaus, because every takedown attempt at the start of round 1 and 2, it was a guillotine attempt by Kyle Daukaus, and then just no get-ups. And it's like, wow, okay. So what if GM3 just shoots straight away? Who is a better wrestler than this Sean Fallon guy? sure, he knocked out this Petrushuk and Pereira for it, but they're not grapplers, you know. So he's lost to Phil Hawes due to grappling. He's lost to Brandon Allen due to grappling. So yes, he probably knocks out GM3. I might actually sprinkle round 1 KO, like everything in the interviews that he's saying. I don't always go to interviews, but sometimes I need confirmation. And he's like, yeah, I need another KO. Like, I want to repeat the Pereira situation. And we know that GM3 is a grizzled vet, but we know that he starts slow. It's like, that's what I want to hear, man. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to, when I bet the under 1.5, I don't want it to be Edmund Shabazian, who refuses to throw anything for 7 minutes. It's like, are you the most stupidest fighter in the world? You have an easy, like, payday here, but he's scared of gassing. It's like, if you knock him out, you don't have to gas. Anyway, Edmund deserves to lose. But, yeah, just I don't know if he's watched because he's always been like this, GM3. Like, you just go back and Ian Heinisch is knocking him out 5 years ago. And it's like, oh, he's done, you know. Then Kamzat knocks him out. Then he goes on a 3-fight win streak. Then Krzysztof Jotko just, like, gives him the tour of the octagon 30-27. And Pfeiffer kills him. Then he wins 2 fights, and one of them is Edmund Shabazian, who's about to be ranked, you know. So he's just a guy that he's always had these weaknesses. And if a fighter is bad enough, they can't get him out of there in round 1, or, like, gasses out or just engages in grappling like Kevin Holland, you know, he might lose. So I think if this extends, Carl Daukaus might engage in grappling if he gets a little bit tired and whatnot. But yeah, I just played round 1. Round 1 KO is actually $5 something plus 450. So that's, you know, worthy of a little poke. You know, under 2.5 and all that you said, you know, a little bit more chalk. And I'm just looking now, like, how many late round 1, 2 or round 3 finishes did Daukaus have? He can't, not much really, you know.
No, he's a early finisher, yeah.
Yeah, he's always had fast hands. And my friend is like, I'm surprised he hasn't had more KOs. I'm like, you're right. Yeah. He hurt Phil Hawes, didn't get him out of there. He was kind of buzzing Holland. And he usually forces grappling, and his wrestling sucks balls, which is probably why he doesn't have many KOs. But we'll see here. When he lets his hands go, I'll have a little poke. Because it's GM3. You know, it's not like Carl Daukaus is Tyson. It's his fighting GM3 that's just been knocked out, you know, many times again. So I'll probably be tilted. At some point.
I mean, what I think could happen, I could see like a club and sub, and Daukaus has like a lot of club and subs on his record. It's like he does have some power, so could see him hurting GM3 and kind of snatching up the neck, which would be pretty annoying. But yeah, he should smoke him. I think
he loves his dasses, you know, and they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't want to rely him to das GM3. Like, I know he's been submitted a bunch, like you said, but you know, when you watch his fights, I'm like, oh, this guy knows how to defend subs. He's very educated.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Malcolm Wellmaker, Ethan Ewick. Have you taped this one? It's a bit of a short notice one.
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't? All right, I'll take it over because I actually have a bet. So, a little story time. Hopefully, you have 40 minutes spare, Brady, because I've locked you in for another 2.5 something hours.
Got you.
I bet Ewick 2022 against Robert Hernandez in Cage Warriors. He was 0-1. So he was 0 wins, 1 loss, and I'm like, man, this kid's good. Someone like tipped me off. He's like, look at his amateurs. I'm like, this kid is very good, man. I play him, and then he gets heel hooked in under 2 minutes. So he's an 0-2, and I'm like, why the hell did I play this guy that doesn't have one professional win? And then, you know, Robert Hernandez, I think he got the title in Cage Warriors, fast forward, and I kind of jumped off the Ewick train, and he ended up winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just this weekend became the A1 champion, knocking out Billy Brand. But, you know, Billy Brand, a bit overrated. He was in Contender Series. People were saying he's got some aura when he was fighting Cody Haddon because he went to a decision with Peyton Talbot where they were like slugging it out. But yeah, this kid's very good, man. Ewick is very good. He's only 27. He just fought. The line is extremely disrespectful, man. I think Wellmaker's got insane hype. I didn't really finish tape, but there was a chance I was going to jump on Cody Haddon as a fade of Wellmaker potentially. So I didn't get a chance to really say if I would or wouldn't. But I just taped Ethan, however the hell you say that name, and yeah, man, I got just $160 to win 600 a unit. Like, the odds are big enough to where I can only poke it. I don't have to even go half a unit, and I'm happy with that, man. You look at his wins: Santos, Verdinez, you know, in LFA, knocked him out in 2 minutes. This Verdinez guy gets dropped a lot, but no one really finishes him. He's got a good positive record in LFA. All right, I need to watch these 2 fights, Brandon Gonzalez and Carrillo, because they're decisions. But I saw all these KOs, and he's very slick, man. Good on the feet. He mixes in takedowns. This 1-2 against Billy Brown was brutal. He was just like, put him out cold with a straight right. So I thought he could maybe walk into something on Wellmaker. I remember him being a reckless fighter, but I don't think he's that reckless. So whatever happens, you know, I will not cry over $160 So it is what it is. But this kid's very good, man. And I would love to be on the side of, look at me, I faded the $1.20 hype job, Malcolm Wellmaker. He is good. But in my humble opinion, this will be his best win in his career. I said it. It will be better than Cameron Simon, in my opinion.
Nice. Oh, do you have any thoughts on the total? I don't even know where it's at.
Minus 200 at 1.5. It makes sense because it's a Malcolm Wellmaker fight, but I kind of don't like it because I've never seen Malcolm Wellmaker hurt. Maybe you can tell me if you have.
No.
And, they're both finishing in round 1, but I get the gut feeling that it's one of those two tough guys, well matched. They're both finishing bums, but now it's going to extend because they're both high-level fighters, you know what I mean? So if it's minus 200, I'd rather play it versus freaking a punching bag like Chris Martinez. Not another good fighter in it. But I could see Ewig knocking him out, even though there's just no footage of it. There's no, I don't know if I'll have time to just go back through Wellmaker's regional tape. But I did it for Contender Series a bunch. But yeah, I think he's better. If Cameron Simon and Nathan fight tomorrow in the UFC, I think Ewing would beat him. I'm pretty confident. All right, we'll move on to the real Lotion fight for Brady. Erin Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. What do you say, Brady? How many units on Tracy Cortez's butthole?
Oh, yeah, I saw that video too. Kind of hot. What? Did you say? Did you say Tracy Cortez's butthole?
I did.
Okay, yeah. There's a video going around.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Oh, you saw the video? Yeah, there was definitely a video. Somebody saying it looked like she had a butt plug in, which is crazy. I don't know, man. I think Blanchfield should get it done. I'm not in love with the minus 250 price tag, to be honest. I thought initially I could see maybe Cortez, stuffing the takedowns, and this fight takes place on the feed. If it takes place on the feed, she's not looking minus 250. But I do think Blanchfield gets the fight to the mat, and once she gets the fight down to the mat, that's probably it's her world. She should win, probably by decision. Minus 125 for that, I don't hate, but I could see a submission. Just not much sticking out here. But in terms of a pick, I think Blanchfield gets it. I'd actually be kind of surprised if she didn't get it done here, to be honest. I'm just not too high on Cortez, and I think in terms of who has the higher ceiling, it's definitely Blanchfield. So yeah, Blanchfield for me. Just not sure how to play it, if play it at all.
Do you think Weili could KO GM3?
Yeah.
Nice. Shady. Shady bet GM3, nice. Hope you lose, Shady. Yeah, Erin, I know my boy Pepe has a big bag on Erin Blanchfield, I think minus 200. It makes sense, Before tape, I'm like, come on. First fight was pick him, but, 19-year-old Erin. And then you're like, Cortez has kind of dropped off a bit, although she is the last girl to beat Jasmine properly before Manon. And Melissa Gatto win is good. Losing to Rose, whatever, she kind of got rinsed there, and you just kind of feel like she's not really serious about her career anymore. Like she's got a lot of red flags, like personality-wise. Cortez, like these fighters when they have like the weigh-in drama, and when she cut her hair off and she was crying and shit. Like I fade those type of fighters. Like that's red flag city. And I'm like, man, she just rinsed Viviana Araújo when I had people in my Discord playing Araújo as a big underdog, Then I watched that fight, and she was like pulling guillotine on Viviani and stuff, and I'm like, I don't remember this part of the fight. Like, I think she won rounds 2 and 3 with wrestling, but I said, don't pull guillotine against Erin Blanchfield. Like, Erin Blanchfield should not be able to take you down unless you pull guillotine. So it's just showed me a bit of an unserious game plan versus a black belt in Araújo. So in the grand scheme of things, I do think Erin should win. Like, younger, 26, more serious about her career, gunning for the title. Even if she's losing, she will just like force the grappling and maybe get a lot of clinch time. And, if she does get her down, she's the only one with submission upside, in my opinion. So, and then the other side, it's like, Cortez took her down with ease. Cortez has, in my opinion, lead sub defense. So if she wants to try that on Erin drops round 1 like nothing, man. She dropped 2 rounds against Rose, 5 rounds against Manon. Finally got her there. I've been fading Erin for a bit. Like first round against Tully. She drops these round 1s. So it's one of those ones, like especially now, I don't want to force it now. $1.30. What is it? Yeah, $1.40 is just like what a disgusting price.
Yeah.
If anything, it feels accurate, right? Maybe.
Probably.
Let me just have a look at, because I have you booked in for another 3 hours. We got time.
You're good, man.
Erin, no scorecards. Probably going to be disgusting. But these last few weeks, man, people have been making fun of all the no scorecards I've been playing. But we've been getting like Waldo plus money over Della and Duncan plus money over Tulio. It's just like the bookies dropped off a bit on these no scorecards or what? Double chance. Decision no bet. Minus 200 for Erin. Decision no bet, no scorecards. So that to me feels like a lock.
That's a silly line, yeah.
Probably a lock to push, but I'm confident enough to lay that. And submission. I got this like specific submission no decision no bet. It's pick'em. So obviously if Erin gets a KO, you lose your money. But yeah, I mean, is it going to be a KO? She might get a crucifix. You never know. But I might just lay that decision no bet. We'll see. She almost had an armbar as a 19-year-old years and years ago. And Tracy is harmless. Mate, she also had an arm triangle choke on Cortez in that same fight years ago. So we'll see.
I mean, I've been looking at that submission prop for Blanchfield. It's looking at me.
What's the actual number on the actual submission?
It's plus 600.
It's not bad, but it just feels like I just feel like I don't want to lose. It feels like the Mauro Bruno Silva submission prop last week, in my opinion.
that was terrible.
I put $50 on it, and it felt like $50 too much.
Yeah. Yep.
Tracy's overrated in terms of looks. I don't know about her skill. I would say she's overrated in both, in my opinion, other than maybe the butthole, which could even be a butt plug. So I can't comment on it. I'm not here to spread fake news.
Yeah.
Let's move on, Brady. You ready to move on?
Yes, let's do it.
It's good. Roman Kopylov, Gregory Rodrigues. This, for me, I hope you don't mind me taking over because this is my lotion fight.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I would love to lotion up Gregory Rodrigues. Just. Have you seen those physio videos of that guy lotioning the bodybuilder's chest? Like,
I've not seen that. No.
And they're always like muscly and they're moaning and shit. They're like, oh, and he's like,
what are you watching, dude? What are you watching? No, I haven't seen that.
It's like deep tissue for he's getting in real deep on their pecs and they're like really big and he gets a lot of like oil on it. And they're just like sitting there in Speedos and he's like,
I've never seen that, man. I've never seen it.
I'll send it to you in private.
Okay.
Pretty much everyone I've sent it to was disgusted by it. But anyway, I feel like I would love to do that to Gregory Rodrigues' picks. Yeah, I understand why he's the favorite. He should be the favorite. I feel like he's got KO upside. He's got the physicality. He's got easy takedowns. He's got like massive upside when he does get a takedown. Even though a lot of the guys he's facing just shoot back up. Like I think his jiu-jitsu is quite a bit overrated, at least his control. But Roman is one of those guys that I think he's a bit of a zero on the ground, even though his takedown defense has improved a lot. So I can just see like a really easy double leg from Robocop, even though he stuffed a lot of fluffies and whatnot. So he's got all these paths, but that chin, as you know, and big speed advantage for Kopylov. So if he just like lets out a barrage of 1-2, from southpaw, head kick or something, I think he can hurt him. He can buzz him. But yeah, maybe I'm still kind of like thinking about playing the under. Sorry, not the under, the money line, but I'm like, no, I've been there, and when I haven't been there, my friends have been there, and I know to be cautious for Gregory Rodrigues chalk as a favorite against someone that can KO. And basically, I think the under 1.5 is value. Like, Paulo Costa dropped Kopylov in round 1. Chris Curtis was just making him look really uncomfortable. He broke the pressure that Cesar Almeida was giving him, but getting easy takedowns. Like that guy's Cesar Almeida has a 0 on the ground. That's not going to happen against Robocop. So if Robocop pressures him, it could just look bad and like lands a 1-2 and whatnot. So yeah, I'm thinking 1-2. Rounds 1 and 2 is my bet here, and it's going to definitely take 1 unit on it. A lot of these fights that go over 1.5 rounds finish in the second half of round 2. So that's where I'm at.
So you're thinking about doing ends round 1-2?
Yes. It's plus under 1.5 rounds is plus money, so it's going to be around pick'em. It feels like similar price to the Piper versus Abus.
Yeah, it's minus 120. I like it. I bet it at minus 125. It actually got better throughout the week. But yeah,
the 1-2.
I like it, man. I like it. Rodrigues, I think he should be favorite. Like, I mean, if Rodrigues had good fight IQ. I mean, this guy has the path here to look minus 10,000, right? I mean, the difference between these two on the mat is astronomical. I mean, Roman Kopylov, yes, he has good takedown defense, but anytime we've seen him on his back, it's looked pitiful. I'll never forget the Carl Roberson fight where Roberson took him down, took his back, and choked him out in the span of like 10 seconds. It was disgusting. And then Albert Duraev took him down, got in him out, and pounded him out. And Herzog didn't stop the fight for some reason. It was like a 10-7 round, should have been stopped, but he looked awful against Duraev. And of course, Fluffy tapped him out. I mean, if Rodrigues gets on top of Kopylov, I mean, the fight's over. I mean, Rodrigues has disgusting ground and pound, and then he has an elite grappling game. We haven't seen it yet, and I'm annoyed, man. I mean, I was taping this fight last week, and I was planning on playing the submission for Rodrigues, but the price is so terrible. I mean, they're only giving you like plus 400. Like, I need a lot better price than that to scream at my TV, because it probably doesn't happen. But holy crap, if Rodrigues wants to sub Kopylov, he will. He'll sub this white belt. So, yeah, Rodrigues should win. He should dominate. But my concern is that he's going to stand in swing dicks with Kopylov. If he does that, he might get knocked out. He's a chinny dude. So I like the fight won't start round 3. I think either guy can knock each other out. And then I think Rodrigues has an astronomical advantage once the fight hits the ground. So I like violence here. Fight won't start round 3. And I'm going to leave it at that. Again, I looked at the sub prop, and it probably hits, but I just need a better price for it. So yeah, give me violence.
Are we lining up? Good stuff. There's not a lot of dudes that play 1 and 2 as much as me, but being an under 1.5 expert, I just know in my gut when the fight's going to cash in the second half of round 1 and break the TV. So I think even under 2.5 rounds, let me just check on Bet365. Like, I think chalk is worth it, whatever it is. Because he got Brad Tavares out of there in, early round 3, and that guy's very durable. So it's not like Robocop gases. Like, he carries his power late. Let me just have a look for the sake of the people tailing us. Wow, under 2.5 rounds is better than minus 200 on Bet365. $1.55. That's going to be value, right?
It's good luck. Yeah, I like it.
Just even Kopylov has like round 3 KOs over the Chirico, who I thought was durable at the time. Yeah. And man, Madison Square Garden, you don't have to, like, in the Apex when there's no fans, like, Robocop is dying on his shield for like a crowd of 5. He's just out there brawling with no defense. In Madison Square Garden, I think this guy's just going to see red, and I think that's actually the best game plan for him, to just run through Kopylov, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was at one of his fights live in San Antonio a couple years ago. He fought Julian Marquez. He just said, fuck it. Just pulled out his dick, started swinging it. I kind of think that's what's going to happen here, to be honest, but I would like to see him grapple. But I mean, these guys are probably going to stand and bang, is what I'm thinking.
That's the fight I was thinking of when taping this fight, because I remember my friend laid a little bit Marquez, because he's like, Robocop's shinny. And then I taped it, and I'm like, man, I'm about to lay minus 200 on Robocop, because there's like levels. Like, Marquez is just so bad. And I kind of feel like that here. I feel like if Robocop puts a foot on the pedal, he could just like run through like the soy carrot top looking, I don't know. There's something about Kopylov. I love him. Like, his striking style is great. But there's something about him where you feel like you could just like pick him up and like break him, manhandle him the way Paulo Costa did. So we'll see. All right, Bo Nickal versus Rodolfo Vieira. I can't believe we're not in the main event, the main card. But yeah, basically, I'm not really interested too much in this fight. Like, $1.44 on Bo Nickal, I think that's pretty generous considering he got fraud checked by RDR and hasn't really bounced back. And now they're giving him Rodolfo Vieira, who's 6-3 in the UFC. Might not be the best fighter, but is Bo Nickal going to submit him? Don't think so. Is he going to knock him out? Couldn't knock out Paul Craig. So is Bo Nickal going to engage in the grappling? Probably not. So if we're getting a striking fight here, I do think Rodolfo has better striking. So why is he $1.44? So it's just, it feels like a weird fight. And Rodolfo is a guy that even when he can't get takedowns, like versus Tracy, he just keeps shooting. He doesn't know anything else. Like against Chris Curtis, kept shooting, kept getting stuffed. It's like, man, do something else. You're not getting this takedown. Like, it's so clear. You've been stuffed 22 times now. So I feel like he will shoot on Bo Nickal, even though it's Bo Nickal. Like he doesn't care about his credentials. It's like, I need a takedown here. And Bo Nickal might just stuff it. And Who knows, man? Nickal went for a guillotine on freaking RDR. Maybe he's going to go for a guillotine on Rodolfo Vieira. So when he went for that guillotine, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, but I feel like that was a bit of the moment. Like RDA swamped him, kind of broke him, made him gas out, and he just in the moment as an unexperienced fighter. Like I only shoot guillotines when I'm not thinking straight. Like something's wrong. I'm not composed. So I don't know if Rodolfo's going to bring that out of him. Like it's going to be potentially a patient staring fight. So what I have here is I have the over 1.5 rounds at plus money. So it opened up at 1.5, and last week the same thing happened with Padilla versus Bonfim, and I was like, ooh, I think this is a mistake because the two it's 2.5 rounds on bowl, but it's 1.5 here. I didn't lock it in. They adjusted. I regretted it because it went over 1.5. And then this week the same thing happened. It was 1.5 for Bo Nickal, same price as the 2.5, and everyone was locking in the 2.5. I'm like, I'm locking this in. So I got 750 on the over 1.5 at plus money. I'm not really confident that it goes to 2.5. Honestly, I feel like something could happen in end of round 2 or round 3. Both these guys gas. What if Bo Nickal pulls a guillotine in late round 3? So just not interested in the fight. What about you?
Yeah, I hate this fight, man. I truly do. I think this is the worst fight on the card. Just how I'm picturing it playing out. I feel like it's going to probably look like the Paul Craig fight, which was an awful fight. I feel like it could also look like the Vieira Petrosky fight, which was an awful fight, just like a back and forth, two grapplers, striking for 15 minutes type thing. And yeah, I think if anything, I would play the fight goes the distance. But I'm with you in a sense. I could see something silly happening like late in the fight. I could see some shenanigans late in the fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of those fights where the overs just look free. The overs just look sweat free. The fight goes 15 minutes because I don't think Nickal's knocking out Vieira, who's very durable. I don't think Nickal's submitting Vieira. I'd be shocked. I don't think Vieira's knocking out anybody ever. I don't think Vieira is getting the fight down to the ground. It seems like the fight should go to the distance at a very high clip, but just something's kind of holding me back. I don't know what it is. But something's kind of holding me back from pulling the trigger, and the line has moved. I think that's another thing maybe holding me back because the fight goes was plus money. Now you're having to lay a little bit of juice, and if I put money on this fight and I lost money on this fight, I'd be pretty pissed off because I hate it. So yeah, Nickal should win. Minus 225 is silly, but I think Vieira might look like a value loser this week.
Yeah, I will say a lot of these overs have been mushed. Right, it started with me jumping on one with Rakic Mozakhanov. 2.5 rounds, pick him. Everyone was on Rakic, and me being a Serbian guy, the little crest right here. I was like, nah, I can't do it. But hey, if he's not getting knocked out, it's probably going to go over 2.5 rounds. Felt bad about it. Locked it in dead by a jab. Then the next one was the over 1.5 versus Kevin Christian versus Billy Alicana. I said on the early tease, I'm like, oh, pick him for over 1.5. Alicana just stared at a guy for 15 minutes. I go to lock it in, like close to minus 200. Like, this is a sign. Finishes. And then the last one was everyone was on the 2.5 in the Bonfim fight, and obviously didn't make it. And I'm like, this feels the same. A lot of action coming on this over 2.5 that go the distance. And my gut is just like, I don't even know if my 1.5 is safe. Like, just there's a weird aura about this fight. And sometimes the gut, you gotta, like you said, something's telling you not to do it. You gotta listen to that, man.
I know a lot of people are on the over in the Waldo Della fight too.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I was about to do that 2.5, but because it's just like I can't rely on Waldo to knock anyone out because I can't even knock out freaking Arlovsky. But yeah, he's a guy that you just never know. He can knock out anyone, and then he will carry the chiniest guy to a 15-minute decision.
Yeah.
Does Waldo no scorecard plus money? Crazy. Plus 130.
Jeez.
Can't believe it. But then when I saw that before the eye poke, I missed the eye poke, and I'm like, how the hell does Della get a round 1 knockout over Waldo when I play the no scorecards? And then I saw the eye poke, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
That's why it irks me when you complain about that reset. I was like, mate, come on, just let it happen. I already had one fight that I haven't been paid out on because of an investigation.
Shit.
Don't need this one. All right, Beneil, Dariush, Benoit, Denis. Man, this one, we're on the main card. Like, subscribe, give us some likes. I got the ditty of the capping Twitter on the show. So I kind of forgot to tape this fight, honestly. I taped one fight, and it was Moicano versus Saint Denis because it's a similar dynamic. Chinny guy, he's going to go for takedowns. And then I taped the Moicano versus Dariush, which hurt because I was on your show. best bet, and I gave out. It was like 3 units on Dariush versus Moicano as like a plus 160 underdog before the fight fell off, and I lost my best bet. And then they rebooked it, and he ended up closing pick'em. So obviously, I have no regret passing because Dariush looked like shit. He almost got knocked down in round 1, and he was a really competitive, round 3. But he's washed, man. He's washed. But Benoit Saint-Denis, hittable, can be taken down, can be blanketed. I don't know. It's just it's a tough fight. Do I fade him with a 36-year-old, extremely fragile guy? They're just making Armin Sarukian look like Rico Van Hooven, from Glory, best kickboxer ever. What do you think?
I think this fight's awesome. I mean, I'm always excited for a Benoit Saint-Denis fight. This guy, they call him the God of War for a reason. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a car crash. This guy's all offense, no defense, kill or be killed, no regard for his own safety. And it's actually it's interesting. And me too. I had a bet on freaking Dariush at like plus 165 as well against Moicano in the first fight, got canceled, and didn't bet on Dariush in the next one because the line moved so much, and that was annoying. But yeah, I didn't feel good about Dariush in that fight. He got dropped by Moicano, which, I mean, that shouldn't happen. Renato Moicano drops nobody. I think prior to that, Moicano had only one knockdown in his entire career, and he's been in the UFC forever. So that was a bad look, getting starched by Armin Sarukian. I get Armin Sarukian; it's a great fighter, but I mean, he's not starching anybody. To get knocked out in 60 seconds. Not a great look. Obviously got knocked out by Charles, which is not the end of the world, but not a great look. He's been finished like 6 or 7 times now at this point of his career. He's looking old. He's always had that gray hair, but it's getting even grayer. Each and every time he steps in the cage, it's grayer and grayer and grayer. And I think Benny's probably done here. I think the chin's probably dust. But I don't know. Skill for skill, it's interesting because Benny has elite anti-grappling, so I don't think Saint-Denis is going to just take him down. I kind of think if Saint-Denis is winning this fight, he might have to knock him out, which, I mean, it really shouldn't shock anybody if that happens because Benny just can't really seem to take a shot. I think both guys can give it, but I really think only one guy can take it, and I think Saint-Denis is probably gonna put him out. If not, I think Benny's super alive, but I mean, it's kind of a big if for me. Like, if you're getting hurt by Renato Moicano, like, what is Saint-Denis going to do to you? So, yeah, Saint-Denis, I think Saint-Denis probably wins by knockout here.
Yeah, I agree with 6 hound. That under 1.5 at plus money stands out. It was a similar price versus Dustin Poirier, and it hit. And the under 2.5 was like not that chalky. So, but how much do we give finishing upside? Do we give Dariush?
I think he could. Like, he hits hard, and Saint-Denis, he has no defense. So, like, if Dariush did finish Saint-Denis, it wouldn't completely shock me. But, yeah, I like that under, too.
Just the way he's fighting recently, like, decision to wash Tony Ferguson, like, decision to Moicano. Like, if he just struck with Moicano, he could have knocked him out because Moicano has no chin. But we'll see. Maybe because he has a win now, coming off 2 back-to-back KO losses, maybe he's got some confidence and he's going to... Traditionally... Dariush has no regard for his defense either. He's just brawling with all these random ass bums like Drakkar Close and whatnot.
I mean, Dariush will swing, man. He's down to brawl. Like, remember the Drakkar Close fight? He just started swinging. That was awesome. I think something similar is going to happen here. I think it's going to come down whose chin fails first, and I think Benny's chin's going to fail first.
Not only that, but I had him in. Who's a guy that retired, a hockey player?
Scott Holtzman.
Yeah, he's just like spamming spinning back fists. I'm like, dude, I'm like, relax, man. It's round 1. It's only the first 5 minutes. And kind of like throw a jab or like calf kick or something. He was just like spamming stuff. And then he hit him and he knocked him out. I was like,
yeah,
wow, I think he would have been completely gassed if he didn't get that knockout.
He looked gassed. Mm-hmm.
He looked gassed when he won that fight because he was just like spamming shit. That would be good for the under. Who knows? All right, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. I got 3 units on Prates. Minimum tape. I know these guys well. Basically thought, don't overthink it, minus 200. I'm not even going to go, is there any value in minus 200? It's just like, I feel like Leon Edwards is done. I've been talking about how his run has been super fortunate that he actually faced a washed Kamaru Usman for the title. And I mean, he was getting rinsed the first time. Then whatever the hell that Kobe Covington defense was, washed Kobe Covington. I had 4 units on Buckley versus Kobe, and people were telling me, oh, like Buckley can be taken down. I'm like, lads, you're overthinking it. It's a washed Kobe Covington, like in a 5-rounder versus a black dude with power, hungry for some rankings. And played Bilal against him and played Sean Brady against him. I wish it was bigger, but some noise scared me off it. They're like, Brady gets knocked out by Bilal, but oh well. This is not a grappler. But Carlos Prates, I think this is an easier matchup than Jeff Neal, in my opinion, right? Jeff Neal, a lot more durable. It's the way he handled him. Usually he's a bit of a slow starter, but I feel like the fact that Carlos Prates got into his zone like 2 minutes into that round 1, I was like, well, this is scary, man. He was already throwing knees and spinning elbows. So we'll see. I got reverse heel lead, which pisses me off. I hate getting reverse heel lead. I got reverse heel lead last time when I played him versus Gary, and I hated that bet. I had a bad gut feel, and then I locked it in. And then the biggest reverse heel lead ever followed, which just rubbed salt into the wound, especially when I like the over as well. But I do think in terms of sticking and moving and speed and confidence, the mental power, I think Ian Gary's way better. Way, way better. And Ian Gary was like chill. He's like, I belong here. I'm getting a title shot off this win. Whereas I think the bright lights got to Carlos Prates. Like, he didn't throw anything for 4 rounds, man. I actually left. I left and I went to eat. I'm like, I can't watch this shit. He's like down 4-0. And he's not even going to throw anything. And then someone's like, oh, wow, like, don't watch this back. And then I watched the round 5. I think if I didn't go to eat, with how pissed I was, and I watched that round 5, I probably would have literally broken my TV.
Yeah.
And even with the ground and pound, it was clear that he was overthinking things. He's like, what should I throw next? Like, he wasn't in the flow state. And I'm glad that he lost, and he looked much more free in his bounce back. So, yeah, not overthinking it. Am I going to keep 3 units? Can't guarantee it. I was just being a little bit reckless early in the week. This is why I don't lock in bets early in the week. Just, I do stupid shit. But don't overthink it. Maybe Leon's going to stick and move, throw some head kicks, calf kicks early as Prates is just staring at him. And then Prates is going to get a read. He's going to land a 1-2. Maybe like the Giles repeat. And we'll see. A KO. I wouldn't even mind sprinkling some KO as the first person to do it. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I've never been a Leon Edwards guy. Like really ever. Like, I mean, I just hate his style. It's so boring. He just does nothing in there. And he kind of hypnotizes his opponent into doing even more of nothing. So, if this is a Leon Edwards fight, it's going to be the worst fight on the card because it means that they're just staring at each other for 15 minutes. But I think that Gary fight was honestly probably the best thing to ever happen to Prates because I think that really, like you said, we saw in the Neal fight, he didn't wait, a round and a half to get going. He didn't wait till the second round to get going. He started going in the first couple minutes, and that's what I think he needs to do here, especially against Edwards. Against Edwards, you don't want to go out there like the Giles fight and go tit for tat with this guy for 9 minutes. You want to go out there, you want to pressure him, you need to make him uncomfortable. And if he does that, I think he is knocking out Edwards. I mean, this guy Prates, when he goes, he is a scary dude, long, rangy. He's got the death touch, the combination. I mean, if he goes out there and pushes the pace here, I think he's going to smoke Edwards. But the one concern he had to worry about would be him kind of falling into the Edwards verse a little bit, which would be a low volume type striking fight. But yeah, I got to go Prates here. I think he knocks him out. I think he's the first person to knock Edwards out. Edwards, you look through his career, he's never been knocked out, but he's never really fighting anybody dangerous. He's fought guys like Luque, who's dangerous. I think Donald Cerrone's dangerous. But outside of that, he's fighting grapplers. He's fighting guys with no power. I mean, this guy Prates, he's probably, no, not probably, Prates is the hardest hitter he's ever fought by a good margin. So yeah, Prates for me, Prates inside the distance. And I don't mind the money line even. I mean, money's coming in on Edwards. Prates is now minus 162. If this line keeps getting shorter and shorter, I might jump on the Prates money line myself.
Nice. Look at this Edwards claim to fame.
Oh,
Vicente Luque, Barberena, Peter Sabota. Vicente Luque is probably his best win. Cerrone, split decision to Gunnar Nelson. Rafael Dos Anjos, who already lost like 4 of the last 5 at that point, even though it's 2019. Nate Diaz, Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington, and then 2 losses to Bilal and Brady. Man, there's not even anyone good in the current top 15. There's no Buckley on there. There's no Brady just beat him. There's no Gary. There's no Prates. There's just I reckon all these guys would beat Leon Edwards. Michael Morales. Man, maybe even Neil Magny would beat Leon Edwards.
I don't know about that, but
hey, why not? Why not? Tell me why
Yeah.
not.
Why not?
Round 3, Das choke after Leon is 2-0 up on the scorecards against Magny, and then he ends up in the when he shoots that ill-advised takedown versus Brady, Magny locks it up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, we'll move on. Brady versus Morales. This is the one fight that I think is saving the whole card for me. Like, I would have played Morales plus 130. I just think more explosive. He's got a bit of aura about him. Bigger, athletic. He's got like a judo background, wrestling background. We haven't really seen it much. But it's a hard fight to get a read. You know, I hate fading Sean Brady. He's like this guy that just he's a bit of a like a Dagestani type fighter. Even if he doesn't get takedowns, he's just on your back and just like leg riding you and trying to get the second hook in, and you're just on the cage for ages. We saw Morales on the cage for ages against Magny, and then when he disengaged, he threw a spinning elbow, knocked him out, and Burns kind of took him down, and then as soon as he disengaged, knocked him out. So he can get up, he can break the hands. So he seems educated enough. He's only 26, but it's hard to find. It's one of those fights where you have to go through the whole career and just piece small footage of him getting taken down and getting up. Like he was in a deep arm triangle versus Giles, which is a horrendous look, and he just kind of rolled him. Is he going to do that to Brady? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt you can just do a basic white belt bridge and roll on Brady. But then again, he's going to improve. That's his UFC debut. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Brady should be the favorite. I do feel like Morales has KO upside, but if I play that and he wins like a moments-based decision, because he does have decision wins over, he would have beat Fugit, he beat Max Griffin, he beat Jake Matthews, but they were both 29-28s. So I don't know. It's a tough fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is a pretty tough fight to call because you can make strong cases for both guys, and I think it's one of those fights where we're going to find out pretty quickly into the fight who's going to win. Like I think it's going to come down to whether or not Brady is able to get that wrestling grappling going early, and if he does, I mean he should probably destroy Morales on the ground. But if it turns out Morales is able to stuff takedowns, keep it on the feet, I mean I think Morales is going to probably chin Brady there. So I might look at it from maybe a live bet perspective, kind of see how the fight's going in the first couple minutes. But pre-flop, I guess I lean with Morales just because he's dog money and just because I think he has the power to really hurt Brady. But if Brady went out there and took him down and served him on the ground, that wouldn't shock me either. So yeah, not a really strong take on this one, but it's definitely dog or pass if anything.
Nice. Let's move on. Valentina, Shevchenko, Weili, Zhang. I'll let you go on this one.
Like you said at the beginning of the show, I don't know. I like the fight as a fan. I like both these fighters. Like I'm a big fan of Zhang Weili. She's been dominant in the strawweight division. I'm a big fan of Shevchenko. Same thing. She's been dominant in the flyweight division. So as a fan, I'm looking forward to it. Kind of looking forward to seeing how it plays out. But from a betting perspective, I don't know. I don't want to bet either money line here because if you bet on Zhang Weili, you're betting against Valentina Shevchenko. On the flip side, if you're betting on Shevchenko, you're betting against Zhang Weili. Like I don't want to bet against either one of these chicks. So, and then you look at the props and it's like I don't know. Like I think fight probably goes the distance, but that's minus 250. Yeah, nothing's really sticking out. No interest in this fight from a betting perspective. In terms of who wins, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to who's able to, establish that top control, who's able to get the fight down to the ground. And I guess I would think Shevchenko just being the bigger fighter, being the more natural flyweight fighter. But like I said, I don't want to count out Zhang. So I slightly lean Valentina, just not running to the window at a minus number.
Let me ask you this, Brady. Who is the last girl that Weili Zhang's fought that could strike and grapple?
That could both strike and grapple?
Correct.
Rose?
I would say so. And she lost twice. Like, I'm not really impressed with any of these wins. Like, Tatiana Suarez, she was done by round 2. Not the OG Suarez. And she still got taken down and held in round 1. Jan, just whatever. Lemos, she's just like lost to like 4 girls. She should have lost to Dern as well. Carla Esparza, come on, man. Joanna, I think she retired after this fight. So
yeah,
there's just like I think Valentina, I get it's hard for me to lock her in because she's slim margins and she's now chalk, but she's a neutralizer. And Zhang beats all these girls who either have no grappling or no striking. Like Suarez, if she couldn't get a takedown once she was gassed, that's it. The fight's over, right? Shooting like really shitty entries from the other side of the cage. Like Jia Yan, like she dropped her and she took her down, like massive white belt on the ground. Same as Lemos, dropped her and took her down. Carlos Peraza, just the level of physicality. And Joanna, striker. She knocked her out. So, like, we're seeing Manon Fior, a massive girl, and even her, she doesn't really have the best process, but she does have a better process than Weili. But she didn't have the best striking defense, and she got her nose busted up with the first check hook in round 1. So I just think Weili is like wild and throws a lot of aggressive strikes, naked kicks. Not the best defense, not the best takedown defense, but she just mogs all these girls that are either white belt on the ground or one-dimensional grapplers. And now she's fighting Valentina, who's not going to throw anything unless you give her like an opening. She'll throw the 1-2, and she'll go for a body lock, and she might just win a very, very, very boring decision. Like, if Weili Zhang gets on top, I don't see her doing her like freaking Yan or Lemos, right? Like, but then again, Valentina should have never let Grasso beat her. That was just the thing. Like, the fact that Grasso touched the title, I never thought that was going to happen. And the fact that she, had it and then drew the second time, that should have been Shevchenko win anyway. Like, that last fight is how Valentina should have handled Grasso from the first time. 50-45, someone that has no takedown defense and is all submissions from the guard. Like, she should have handled it like that. And I feel like Weili has a bit of that game as well. Really aggressive, fast, explosive, but no defense, no grappling, and gasses out late. So I think Valentina's the side for me. But now that it's chalk, she is old. I think Weili will throw more. She's more aggressive. And yeah, I think beating Fior man on, that was kind of impressive.
Yeah.
I thought once Fior kind of took round 2 and maybe round 3, I can't remember now. I was like, oh, she's going to rinse her because, I didn't expect Fior to be this strong. She was an absolute animal. But Valentina still kind of pulled away. She hurt her in round 4, which she could do to Zhang in any round. So, yeah, man, no real interest, but I guess Valentina will pass.
Yeah.
It's just going to be some slim margin shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Some slim shit. But I think she can shut her down. All right, Jack Della versus Islam. Who do you got?
I don't know. It's a tricky one because, and I really like the striking of Jack Della Maddalena. The volume, the power, and Islam's coming up to 170 for the first time, so we're gonna kind of see how he looks in this one. But I don't know. I feel like we've seen Jack taken down a lot. I mean, the ghost of Gilbert Burns took him down 7 times. We saw Basil Hafez took him down 1 million times, and Islam should be able to do so. I guess the concern is, what does Islam look like if this fight does get late into the fight? What happens if he's not able to finish Jack early? Does him, probably putting on more muscle affect him down the stretch? I don't know. It's tough to lay minus 270 on Islam Makhachev here, especially coming up a weight class. But I do lean his way. I think if I'm going to play Islam, I'd rather play him by submission. I think if he's paying off this minus 270, he's probably submitting Jack Della at some point in this fight. Actually, was kind of surprised to see the fight doesn't go at only like minus 160, just because, Islam, the last time he lost, he was knocked out. Jack definitely has some power, and Islam's probably going to put Jack into some bad spots. So I think that'd probably be my favorite look. Maybe the fight doesn't go, covers Islam sub and maybe a Jack Della late KO type thing. But yeah, I'm going to pick Islam. I can't lay minus 300 on him, though. What are your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, it's a weird one. I thought I'd be on Jack because I was on him against Bilal, and yeah, I haven't really been impressed with Islam for a long time. Right? It's a hot take. I'm not a contrarian, I promise. It's just the things I see. His wins over what's his name? Volk, who yes is good, but Chinny Volk. And he stole that fight because he hurt Volk a couple of times. And he might not be able to do that to Jack. And also a featherweight, a washed Chinny featherweight. And then, Dustin Poirier in his retirement fight, just a war, back and forth war, who I think is an easier matchup because Poirier has saw this matchup many, many times, but just always easy to take down, always bad hips. And competitive back and forth war. You say he looked off. I could tell that Makachev looked off on the walk-in, But whatever, if you're getting staff, if you're fighting with staff, like that's an issue in itself. And yeah, just whatever. Charles Oliveira before that, King Green, Dan Hooker, Thiago Moises went into round 4. Drew Dober. You could argue there's no good win in the last 5 years on Makachev's. Like Armin Sarukian is his best win in 2019, right? So just never really been impressed. It's like fight someone good. And I was so cut when they didn't do the Topuria fight and he vacated his title and went to welterweight. It makes you think, did he know? Did he know that Topuria would have pushed his shit in? Maybe. Man, honestly, that's like a Volkanovski with more power, less chinny, better grappling. And Volkanovski was a 3-2 fight, very competitive going into Australia. So I think Topuria would have beat the crap out of him, but that's a shame. So yeah, I think Jack as a natural welterweight with power and improving, like the 1-4 Bilal, obviously clearly his grappling's improved. Despite him having a broken hand versus Burns. So to me, it's a dog or pass. Like there's no way I've parlayed Islam before. I parlayed him versus Volk the second time around. It was short notice and whatnot. But I wouldn't be parlaying this one. This feels like if I'm going to do anything, it'll be Jack. But Jack was quite hittable versus Bilal. Like how his face looked after fighting Bilal, I don't think anyone's face has ever looked that bloody after fighting Bilal. So it was just double black eyes, broken nose. I'm like, wow, man, you looks like you fought Dan Hooker, not Bilal. But yeah, I think Islam can keep it competitive on the feet as well. And maybe I'll just lie better. Let's see how he looks at welterweight. All right, let's see how he looks in round 2, round 3. I do think his striking is much better than Bilal's. I think he can keep it competitive on the feet. I think his grappling is much better than Bilal's. So every time Bilal got him against the cage and failed and backed off, I think Islam can switch to a leg trip. He can do the first takedown he hit on old mate Poirier was like a high crutch. He just lift these guys and just like slams them down. So yeah, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it. If there's any like some parlay money on Makachev, if I get like $3.50 plus 250, then maybe I'll poke and hope for the best. But that's where I'm at. Dog or pass, clear. I think this is his toughest matchup. I think he thought maybe moving up to welterweight was going to be easier than Topuria, but he might get a little bit of a shock with Jack Della. And that's it. We're there. You got 2 of your favorite bets that you would give out to the fans?
What are we looking for? Like plus money or safe?
No, just it can be it's like if your wife is like, I need to put on a bet, otherwise I die. You have to give her that bet.
Yeah. There's 2 that I like. I'll go the Daukaus Meerschaert. The fight won't start round 3 at -120. Gives Daukaus 10 minutes to finish Meerschaert, and Meerschaert can obviously find something. And then give me the Susarkayev under 1.5. Why not?
Cool. I like that too. So I haven't really thought about round 1 and 2 for Daukaus. I didn't realize it was that close to plus money. I guess because the 1.5 is plus money. So
yeah. Well.
Yeah, he did get knocked out. Yeah, I think I might just sprinkle round 1, but I do like the under 1.5. For me, I mean, I do have one bet, and it's the 3 units on Prates. Do I give that out with all the juju, the bad juju? Yeah, I like that, and I like the under 1.5 in the Susarkayev. I think that these are just locks. You can lock them in, you can parlay them, and it's all about money, like clean money, right?
I hope so, man. I hope.
No, it's easy. It's easy. It's like investing. Put a little bit in crypto every week. Put a little bit in chalky under 1.5s every week. And just watch your capital grow. You want to plug anything, mate?
No, most of my content's done. Just doing a betting breakdown video late in the week. Gonna watch these weigh-ins tomorrow and see if anything sticks out. But got most of my action in, ready to go.
You don't wanna shout out your website or anything? Your OnlyFans?
No, I got some stuff going on and OnlyFans coming out.
Okay, cool. We'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, maybe next year. Sure.
Thanks for coming on, man. It was fun.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, peace out. In a few hours, I'm going to upload my hopefully edited KSW video breakdown. So like and subscribe. See you later.